Hey, someone's got to take a pot shot at somebody today. Let it be me.
Well, Wally, we've been taking pot shots at you all day, but you just haven't noticed.
I know.
And now, Cheese Wits.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey. Hi, Chris.
Yeah, maybe later.
You see what he did there?
Just depends on how the day goes.
Yeah.
And we don't call them Dagos anymore. So they have.
Wow.
Okay.
We are starting off with
We are on
shots fired.
fire. We are on fire already.
Yeah.
You will wonder why we don't have more people listening to this dreck. You know, it's crazy.
Yeah. I wonder that all the time.
I
Yeah.
do too. I think we don't drink enough before and during the show.
Listen, I'm doing
Possibly.
my part.
I know you are doing your part
I wish I could drink.
with your
You know,
Irish tea.
that
Are you
fucking,
are you on the wagon?
No, it's that peptic ulcer that I've got. Anytime that I have anything to drink, I start, spinning my head around in a Damien-like tantrum. It's really bad.
Excellent.
So, and then I start throwing up and I start having the shits, and it's like it's just not a good situation for anybody involved. Motherfucker, KC scored again. Shit. Sorry, watching a football game.
Okay.
Oh, what's the score of that game?
14-7. Ravens are playing their last game of the season right now.
Yeah, I hope not. No, so I find myself in this football thing.
Yeah.
I find myself now becoming a Mahomes hater,
Why?
and I just because I don't.
Is it that whole Taylor thing or what?
No, you know what it is.
Or is that
It's
with
not-
Kels? That's with Kels.
I am really
Never mind.
not a Mahomes hater
Yeah.
as much as I am a hater of announcers who put quarterbacks and other players on these pedestals of godlike status. They did it to Brady. They did it to, and then everybody hates Brady. Well, he for whatever reason, they just hate people because the announcers create these legends out of guys who can throw a ball or can catch a ball or who fuck a superstar, whatever it is they're doing. So then you become stop talking about this cocksucker. They don't think about that though. They don't do it about women.
Well, I mean, hold on one second. Have you ever seen him suck a cock? I'm curious.
Oh, I would not. I would not.
Just assuming.
Say that. No, I have not seen. Have you seen him suck a cock?
No, I've not. I didn't call him a cocksucker though either.
Right. Okay. All right. Jesus Christ.
We're being literal
Chris.
today.
Yeah, Jesus. I guess we know what path he's on today.
Yeah.
What path? You know what? You sound like my psychiatrist. Okay. Well,
What
we know what's
season
going
are
through
you in
your
today?
mind today, sir. We know how you're feeling today, sir.
Oh, does your mental health professional call you sir?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That
When I say something he doesn't like,
condescending.
when I say something he doesn't like,
Oh, okay.
go, oh, excuse me, sir. But no, normally he calls me by my given name, Judas.
So I finally responded. I was Jess, that little thing you posted. Well, did that come from you?
It did. And let me explain it because
For the home audience.
for the home audience, and because I'm laughing that Wally has now commented on a 9-year-old post.
Well,
Oh,
he
was that
doesn't
from
know
9
any
years
better.
ago?
You'll
I
have to
said it
forgive
was
him
when I sent it to you.
and
Oh,
his
I
social
didn't know
media
that.
skills. You have to forgive him.
I know. So
Listen,
it came up in my Facebook memories, this thread about
those fucking memories kill me.
I know. But from when I'm trying to find let me explain this. Okay. So when I was working at the industry trade publication, Country Air Check, one of my roles as a radio editor was to call radio stations and if there was a big weather event happening, kind of find out what they're doing to cover the event. And, is it all hands on deck? Are you doing something new and exciting and different? Usually no. And so I got an auto reply from an email I sent out to a programmer in the Northeast in 2015, and it said, our offices are closed due to the blizzard. And I said, isn't that exactly when you're supposed to be there? Because that's the radio I came from. Where
I don't know whoever gave you your foundation belief in radios, but they were an idiot.
Yeah, apparently.
Hey, I was there.
Well,
I was there. And, and it's funny, the first comment on this is your mother.
Yes. Well, my mother was the first comment on everything back then.
Yes, she was.
Yes, she was.
Jess Wright farted. Charlotte says, stinky poo. Yes, and she'd be the first one to do it.
Basically, yeah.
So,
yeah.
Or if I said I farted, she would go, well, that's new. So
you said, isn't that what you're supposed to do?
I said, isn't that what you're supposed to do? Lots of radio people piped in. Yes, it is. Absolutely. This is what we are here for. And this one motherfucker who I had hired as a part-timer, and I believe I did that because somebody named Christopher Roth told me that I should.
Oh, really?
I believe it's because somebody named Jess Wright, hey, that's not her real name, said to me, I can't get anybody to fucking work. Do you know anybody?
So this motherfucker, that is all Chris's fault, says, with all due respect, the fact that stations can run automated is much better for talent and office workers. Safety is number one, and frankly, no one is listening to said music stations for breaking news / weather updates. That's what the news talk stations and TV are for. And so the whole thread is basically people arguing with, including me, arguing with that motherfucker. And I actually said, oh, I'm sorry. Did you not notice in 2010 when we had back-to-back blizzards that our phones were ringing off the hook nonstop for 2 weeks with people asking for information from our country music station? I'm sorry. Do we not have double, by far, at least double, the audience of the news talk station in our building? The number one news talk station in our market? What?
So,
what?
So I did respond, even though I knew
Jess
that
responds. People in this thread, Wally, are fucking dead, and you responded to it. But go ahead.
I did, but who cares? It popped up, so I mean, it's still pertinent, right? I mean,
and he says, I guess I'm looking at it from a bigger market perspective, and I was like,
he had his cherry popped for a big market about a week and a half before this.
Yeah.
So you saw my response then, Chris?
Mm-mm.
No, so
I looked at it early. Let me go down the list. Hold on one second. I gotta get.
He just posted it 20 minutes ago, Chris. I sent it to you guys so that we could talk about it for the show. And Wally's like, "Let me tell this motherfucker from 9 years ago something."
No. Because I talked to you, so I knew it was. But I figured, hey, it's still. Someone still may go to it. People go to this shit all the time, right? It may pop up again. Someone might say, "Oh," and they'll think I'm an idiot. I wrote this 7 years ago. What's this guy talking about? But the strange thing is, though, it still exists.
Yeah.
That could have been written yesterday. All of that shit could have been written yesterday.
Absolutely.
It has not changed. So here are the two things I took umbrage with. Okay. Now, I know no one used that word on that thing.
No.
I've responded, by the way.
Chris's response: Wally Bruce doing shit like Rain Man and answering a question from 9 years ago.
Well, listen,
how many toothpicks are in the fucking box, Wally? Go ahead.
I get memories that pop up on my Facebook, and they're my memories, and I will read them and go, "What? When did we do? We didn't what? Oh, that's from 10 years ago."
Wally Bruce was watching Kojak. Oh, great. Terrific.
Well, I could have. So anyways, my whole, what I had said was, and I would have said it then, and I'll say it now too. My perspective does not change and would not have changed, is that to say that safety is the number one concern is fucking bullshit. If that were true, every fucking person who worked in radio would get health insurance because they'd be so concerned. Number two.
Wait a minute. They don't have it?
Yeah, I know it. Can you believe that?
Wow.
Things have changed, right? And number two was, news talk stations are more automated than music stations.
Yeah.
So who's turning to news talk for anything? If you want to listen to fucking Fox News bullshit or religious right bullshit, then you can turn to your news talk and hear. I don't even think Michael Medved's on the radio anymore. Is Michael Medved even on anymore?
I don't know who that is.
Well, so
he was a Salem guy.
Yeah, but Michael Medved used to be a
punt back to you, Jess.
a movie critic. He went from movie critic to Christian right commentator kind of guy to make a career out of it, just like a lot of people do. They that's easy. It's like those marginal actors who suddenly become God actors who do a lot of religious and feel good religious movies because they can't get work doing regular acting and shit. All right, never mind. I will not answer another post again as long as
so Wally, you should see the post because it's taken on another life.
It's taken a new turn.
40 seconds.
Oh, you changed it already?
No, there were no changes.
No, there were no changes.
New posts.
Just new comments.
Oh, well, just your comment, Chris.
And then mine, and then Chris's again.
Well, you know what? You know the chances of me finding it. Oh, here it is. Chris. Oh yeah, there we are.
So Wally leaves this like huge paragraph response. Safety is number one. Blah blah blah. You know.
Yeah.
It's absurd. And then Chris says, Wally Bruce doing shit like Rain Man and answering a question from 9 years ago. And I say, Gail.
Okay. I'm looking at it. And all caps from you, Jess. Oh no, Chris. Oh no,
yep.
You
both of us. Yes.
So
hi, I'm Jess.
So
I'm Chris. Hello.
What he writes
is
that could have been. Is that guy still in radio?
Yeah, he is. He actually he works for iHeart DC.
Oh look, big market. I hope he doesn't have to do any weather stuff.
There are almost no big markets left anymore. What I was also going to write in that thing, which just pertinent for this reason. So there are 3 radio stations licensed to the metro that my little community would be part of.
Does Stephen King own them all?
No, he doesn't own any of them.
Okay.
So 2 of them have moved to Portland, the bigger market. The physical buildings have moved there. Mm-hmm. All that's left at the one I used to work at, the AM FM. All that's left there now is the transmitter shack and the AM towers, and the rest of the building's been torn down. The physical broadcast stuff is 50 miles, 60 miles away. Wow. They never talk about this area at all. The one station left in the metro, which is about 15 miles from here, then the station is still in the market. They're live 15 hours a week, 3 hours live Monday through Friday morning.
So you'll actually get weather coverage if the storm hits during the morning show.
Right. Exactly.
Cool.
And, otherwise, you know,
are radio stations still required to broadcast in the public interest, or is that just not a thing anymore?
The FCC's got better fish to fry.
They don't give a fuck. My post to the 15-year-old post that you had.
I didn't have time to read it all. I was in the middle of something, and you only posted it 20 minutes ago.
I was in the middle of doing my hair and laundry and clipping the grass. And how's the weather your way? Is it still freezing?
No, it's in the 40s and it's raining.
Oh yeah, raining here again too.
Yeah,
it's raining here.
And my plow truck.
You wouldn't know it from the radio though.
No, you wouldn't know it because they don't tell you. You got to go to the news talk station for that.
Oh, is that my mistake?
Go, Wally. If you want to know that it's raining, don't look outside. Go turn on WGAN. You'll know. Mm-hmm. That's all you got to do.
You will not know by tuning in WGAN.
Yeah, that's for fucking sure.
Now, in a related conversation, also from my Facebook memories. It was around this time in 2012. I was trying to hire somebody for some fucking thing. Was it that guy? Maybe. I don't know.
That was it.
I don't know. But here's what I know. Whenever I posted a job in All Access or wherever I posted it, I would be very specific about what kind of experience you needed to have, what, send your air check and your resume, no calls, because frankly, I didn't have time for that shit. I will call you if I'm interested in talking to you. But I didn't say that. No calls. Here's specifically what I'm looking for.
She called me, Wally.
And then I hired Chris.
Mm-hmm.
The majority of the responses that I would get to those ads showed that nobody in radio fucking follows directions.
That's correct.
So I posted a lot more on Facebook back then. I started posting some of the best fun with hiring responses that I got. May I share some of them with you?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Please.
Here's one. I saw your job posting and thought, why not? Here's another one. Cover letter.
Okay.
I know I'm not exactly what you're looking for, but I thought I'd reach out anyway.
That's the whole thing right there.
No, I mean, I just pulled out the pieces that made me roll my eyes.
One of the ones that I got was, I'm ready to take on the challenge of FM radio.
Here's what it said. I said, so although my ad asks you to email me an MP3 and a resume, you've emailed me asking permission for you to send me an MP3. Aggressive. Another one. Although my name is in the ad I posted, your cover letter says, to whom it may concern. Your form letter shows you'll pay great attention to detail in this job. And then I said, I just glanced through the rest of the letter. It says, if any positions are available. He's responding to a specific ad.
She was being aggressive as fuck. Actually, people are like, God, I never get replied to. And all of a sudden, look at what this bitch did. Oh my God. Look at this.
You know what's sad is that Jess spent more time reading the shit they sent her than they spent reading the
ad,
reading the job posting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There was a guy who put his height on his resume for a radio gig.
That's always important.
In the first 60 seconds of your air check.
Hold on 1 second. Jess, when I sent you my shit, I put my inseam in there. You didn't have a problem with it. Okay.
Well, I mean, a girl's got to have her standards.
That's exactly right.
And shoe size.
In the first 60 seconds of your air check, you have an artist drop, a jingle, a 5 p.m. Friday opener, a sweeper with your name in it, and finally a break in your own voice. But it's 18 seconds about 4 different topics in one break.
Oh, was he? It must have been the little thing he sent in to get R&R Station of the Year.
Yeah. Here's an air check that makes fun of paraplegics and talks about stooping a woman with 3 boobs. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Way to know your audience, dude. P.S. He also included, my personality and charisma transcend formats and demographics.
You didn't like the stooping part?
It's just, for a country audience, maybe not making fun of paraplegics and stooping a woman with 3 boobs.
Did Jess just say that all country
at least not on the air
are paraplegic?
At least not on the air, because all of those folks who are listening are absolutely stooping.
Mm-hmm. But it's not a thing that you talk about on your country radio station.
No, did he use the word stoop?
Yes.
You got to give him points for stoop.
And finally, hello, I have broadcasting experience. Please contact me for an interview.
Was that mine?
Probably.
Literally. So there's
that's how Chris got the job.
So yeah, ding, 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 and my inseam. So this guy down in Rodriguez, he moved to Key West, right? And he got a really bad air check. It was fucking terrible of some morning team, and he forwarded on to me when I was working in Raleigh. And I'm like, God, this is fucking awful. So I hit reply. Well, the way that he sent the email, it was a forward, and you had to open up the envelope of the email that it came from. So when I hit reply, I was actually fucking replying, Jesus, these guys are fucking awful. My God, how did this tape even get out of the skimmer? And so Woody and Wilcox reply to me and say, well, we didn't apply for a job at your station. However, thank you for your thoughts on our performance. Oops.
Woody and Wilcox.
Well, obviously nobody else had told them.
No, somebody had to.
Yeah, exactly.
Someone's got to be honest. People aren't honest with these folks at all.
And they're not honest with themselves, because if they had listened to their own fucking tape, Jesus Christ.
I can tell you that I could have scoured through. So, and you guys probably the same. I would scour through hours of tapes to find 2.5 minutes of something that I felt like this might help.
Wally, you just heard me. I put together, I was submitting for an award, and I had to put together 5 minutes from my weekly country countdown. And I had 2 hours of audio saved. As I was doing the breaks, I would save them going, this one might be good enough. This might be good enough. So at the end of the year, I had 2 hours worth of breaks saved. To narrow that down into 5 minutes, first of all, was kind of torturous. And then to get it to the 5 minutes and go, I have no idea if any of this is even good. Like, I don't even, I have no idea. Because I can't be objective.
And so you had a whole year's worth of material whittled down to 2 hours and had to whittle that down to 5 minutes. And it was a chore.
It was a serious chore.
It was a fucking chore to go from fucking, how many hours is it a week?
It's, I don't know. I think it's a couple hours. The show. It's
so a couple hours a week.
Yeah.
50 weeks a year. I don't know if you do 52 or however many weeks
44.
it is. So 44. That's 88 hours down to 2 hours, down to 5 minutes, and it was fucking work.
Yeah.
Not because the breaks are bad, because you're like,
is that my best?
Which one's going to resonate? Which one's the best?
Right.
Which one's better? Which one did I use the correct 5 words? I used fucking an extra fucking 3 words here that I probably shouldn't have used, or
which
whatever.
One's about stooping a woman with 3 boobs?
Right. What did I just say? Fucking a chick with 3 tits. That's what I should have said. I shouldn't have used stuppin'. I shouldn't have said boobs. I should have been right to the point and called them tits.
Yeah.
No, I'm. So that was usually my biggest obstacle, is trying to figure out, is any of this fucking worth sending?
Yeah.
Any of
but
it.
Then there's also the fact that when you're applying for a job, and I know, especially in the last 15, 20 years, it's a lot harder to find a radio job, a good radio job even. But it's harder to find any radio job. And so
I think
you get to this point of desperation where you just want any radio job. And so I think that makes people pay less attention to what they're actually doing. Because the number of people I remember who would send me stuff that said, "Dear Sir" or "Madam." And I was like, gosh.
Well, they were right.
It's too, I was like, gosh, it's too bad there's not some electronic place that they could check and see who's on the radio station and if the program director they're messaging is a sir or madam. Like, right. That could have been, okay, maybe in the 90s, a name like Jess, you might not know. That's fair if it's a man or a woman. But in 2012, we had a website. I was on it.
Right.
It's not that hard to look at the website and go, oh, this is Jess. And here's what I love about this radio station. And here's why I want to work at this radio station.
Yeah, that's the other thing. You can go and listen to the fucking station and know what you're sending it to. I think, so my problem now would be, I would do all the research and I would listen. I would do all the things we just talked about. But I'm not sure that the radio that we do is anybody cares about. No, they don't care about a complete break.
No,
that's not what programmers are looking for.
Yeah, Sean Ross was discussing that the other day, that people are segueing music into spots, and the kids listening to radio don't give a fuck.
Right,
they don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
you are correct. In fact, I could never segueing into a break. What? Yeah, I don't. It doesn't. So I would send if I have some tape, my stuff would be, or if I would do a mock tape, because I would have to do a mock tape now.
Mm-hmm.
If I did a mock tape, I'd be talking into the break, right? So the odd thing that wouldn't be odd though is I'd be talking into my own commercial, which is. That's on every station in America now.
Yeah.
You've got 2 voices on the air and they're voicing all of the commercials except the McDonald's ones.
Yeah. When I was in Memphis, I mean, we had jocks on every day part, but for some reason I would have full stop sets of only my voice.
Oh, See, now
you're good. I mean, that's
this is
why they
true.
do that.
However,
Chris, you don't work for her anymore. You don't have to do that.
No. Listen, even when I worked for her, when I told when we were fucked, I told her we were fucked. And that was kind of it. And there was a breaking point when we were fucked. I believe it happened at a certain meeting on a certain Friday morning.
Yep.
Well, here's the other thing about breaks back in the day. There is fucking no way that the traffic continuity person would allow a jock to talk into their own break.
Mm-mm.
Because it was
That's
all coded.
correct. But
it was
nobody
all
does that anymore.
Coded who voiced it. And if it did happen, the PD, raise your hand, we all would go and say, listen, fucking pay attention to what you're going into, because I do not want jocks talking into their own fucking breaks. And I don't want fucking 2 car ads back to back and yada, 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 yada.
And these days, with the computer technology that exists, the person doesn't even have to pay attention. If the stuff is put into the system correctly, the computer can do it for you.
Well, there's the rub, Jess, if it's put into the system correctly.
Yeah. But then you're talking about salespeople doing anything other than salespeopling.
Right. And part-time voice tracking people doing part-time whatever they're doing. They're running in and they're running out because they got to get to their Kohl's job.
Mm-hmm.
They've got customers to service at Kohl's. We got to hurry up and go. I don't know why I did it that way.
I don't either.
I'm not sure either. That's
I felt giddy too. I had the whole hand thing going.
That was kind of neat. I mean, we appreciate your enthusiasm.
I don't
and if
enthusiasm.
If Jess was actually, doing anything, and Jess would sit there and wish you the best in your future endeavors as well at this point. So there was a time that I was so poor.
Can we get the door code changed?
Yeah. Back in the early 90s, I was so poor. And, I was so poor. It was actually mid 90s because it was right when All Access came along. Okay. And, people weren't recording anything MP3. They were recording cassettes. So I made up a radio station and told people to send tapes to this address so that I would have tapes to record over.
You're the best.
Yeah.
By the way,
that's fantastic.
Speaking about a guy resurrecting a career, hello, Joel Denver in All Access.
Yeah, and hello, Joel Denver with his new venture.
Yeah, I saw something about the new venture, but just before we move off that, Joel Denver, who else? Pat Gillen, because he was on not Pat Gillen, Ed from Hitmakers.
Well, and Pat Gillen was on there on All Access.
Pat Gillen was on there from Network 40, and then there was Ed. I can't remember his name, but he did the Hitmakers. He was a Hitmakers writer.
Yeah.
So what I did see something about Joel's new venture. What is it?
So All Access, you probably know, shut down earlier or late 2023.
Right.
Went away. And so Joel has started this new thing where you get a verified .music domain or ID that you can use to verify that you're in the music industry, so that the AI and the scammers can't steal your identity.
Hold on a second. Jode, did you just fart? Yeah. I thought I heard a really loud fart from out there. Oh, yeah, she's lying. She farted. I heard it.
Well, thanks for stopping down the show for that.
Just happened
right
here. I mean, my God Almighty! Did the traffic person fucking code that fart, Wally?
I don't know, but it came right at an opportune time. So if I wanted to get on there, I just go to what's his website?
I don't remember. I can send it to you.
Did you sign up?
Yeah.
Did you? So you're JessWright.music?
Yeah, I did JessWright.music and JessWrightRadio.music.
And how much are they going to cost, though? Those domains are going to be expensive.
I don't know, because right now there's no charge, and it's just to reserve your domain, so you're not obligated to buy anything. So I figured I might as well reserve it and then see what the cost is once it happens.
I think I might do the same.
Yeah.
Because I know I had a I liked using All Access to grab music off of.
Well, it just the domain things, the extensions, it comes so far from .com and .org and .net to .music. When they have the .fuck you, call me, because then I'd like to have Chris Roth at .fuck you.
I would sign up for that as well.
Yes.
Chris Roth at .fuck you.
See?
Well, it rolls off the tongue. It really does.
It does. It absolutely rolls off the
tongue. It makes me feel good. It's like a nice chamomile tea.
Chris Roth at fuckyou.com. There it is.
Warm and fuzzy all over.
Right there. It is. And the next time I send you an air check, it's going to come from Chris Roth at fuckyou.com, Jess. Okay. And you'll be able to write back from Jess Wright at music or .music or whatever the fuck.
So, right.
Yeah.
Can I tell? I have created a few email addresses for sending junk mail to.
Yeah.
So like fuck you at fuckyou.com or I don't use fuckyou.com. I use everything's at the service that I use. I don't want to say the service I use because it's
the original service from the beginning of the internet.
Yeah. Are you still using fucking Netscape, Wally?
I'm not using. I'm using something very. It came before Netscape.
Are you using AOL still, Wally?
It's not even AOL, but it's related.
Oh, it's CompuServe, huh?
It is. It absolutely is.
Look, I had a CS.com. I know.
But here's the thing about the CS.com. Who the fuck is ever going to hack you? Because hackers are 20-something and they've never heard of CompuServe.
That's why my parents keep their Earthlink address.
See?
I didn't even know Earthlink or CompuServe were still. The only reason I knew CompuServe was still a thing is because Wally has it.
Yeah, my parents.
Nobody's hacking that shit because nobody knows it.
Okay, out of everything that you've seen in my parents' house, do you have any doubt that they would have a fucking Earthlink address, Jess?
No, but I didn't know that Earthlink still existed.
I'm surprised they don't have a Prodigy account.
No, they didn't have Prodigy, but my dad, and this is fucking terrible. So I got all these laptops out of this radio station clean out in Indianapolis. Okay. And mom and dad needed a new laptop. These things were only a couple of years old. So I opened them up and did what I had to get into them. Gave them usernames, gave them the computer. My dad's first question when I gave him the computer, you might want to hold onto your chair to control your laughter here in a second. Okay. First thing he says to me, now, Chris, are these going to be robust enough to handle WordPerfect? Seriously, WordPerfect.
Wait, is WordPerfect still a thing?
It is. Oh, he loves WordPerfect. And then he says, "Wait a minute, how am I going to get WordPerfect on this computer? There's no CD-ROM drive. How am I going to?" I'm like, "Oh, Jesus, fuck that." So.
Oh my God, WordPerfect Office for Home.
It still exists.
Wow.
I still have discs for Windows 3.1.
But the latest version is WordPerfect 2021.
Oh, well, Dad's on WordPerfect 10.
WordPerfect
10.
I was using the Word the other day, and I wanted to use it on this new computer. You gotta sign up for it and pay the fucking yearly fee and the this and the that.
Not if you own it for another machine.
Yeah, so I have it on my other machine.
Yeah, you get 5 licenses.
Yeah, you can just move it over.
But I've got a very old version.
It doesn't matter.
You can move it. You own it.
Can't get a key for anymore.
Oh, well then, do you want me to give you my enterprise key, Wally?
No, I'm fine on my laptop with it. I'm sure I'll be able to just transfer it over from my laptop.
Yeah.
Would you like to put it on another computer, Wally?
Yeah, I'm going to put it on another computer.
Okay, well, because I can get you the code if you'd like to put it on another computer, you said.
When I'm ready for it, I will contact you.
All right.
I will.
That's what I want to hear.
I do have, what do I have? Like here, I still use Lotus.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I use
What
Lotus
are you, where are you putting that CD-ROM?
You can buy a separate CD-ROM thing.
You've got a USB CD-ROM?
Yeah. You can buy one. What's wrong with that?
Just trying to figure out how the fuck he gets on this show every week. Jess.
Really? Seriously?
I mean, does he have to dial in?
He has a Wi-Fi garage door, and he manages to get in and out of the garage.
Do you have to call Sarah down to the central office and say, "Connect me to Cheese Wits"?
I'm not using a Tandy. I mean, no, I just.
It's a Commodore 64.
No, he's got a fucking Packard Bell sitting there with a goddamn 5 1/4 floppy on the fucking front of the thing, sitting there playing goddamn what is it? Oregon Trail.
Look I even have a mini disc with a program on it, and I used to have.
He seems to be bragging about these things, Chris.
Wally, you were going down a road like my father. I am seeing this 20 years ago. This is what I'm seeing. Oh, Chris, look at this disc. And then it turned into what you saw last week.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This is what happens.
USB. I have a USB of my other shit too.
A USB? You mean a flash drive?
Yes, that's what my father calls it, a USB as well. So I think we've hit a dividing line here, Wally.
You know what, you fucks?
Do you have it on a floppy disk?
Yeah.
Just because you change the name of it doesn't mean it's not still the same fucking thing.
Do you use an ATM machine by any chance?
Listen,
do you walk up to that ATM machine?
Some boys used to call a penis. Now that they call them a vagina, doesn't mean they're still not a penis. It is. We can still use the same word.
All right, Wally's drunk. That's it.
I don't know. The last thing I heard is Wally's going to put his penis in an ATM machine. That's the last thing I heard.
I mean, that could cause some problems. I just feel like it could cause a lot of problems.
It could cause a lot of problems. Could you imagine the penalty for early withdrawal?
Now I'm looking at. You want to look at this thing I've got?
Is that a Walkman?
No, it's a super dub to take your cassettes and transfer them into your hard drive.
Onto a USB.
You know what? But you know what I found cleaning out shit at the Silver Spring House? I found a fucking Sony mini disc Walkman.
Wow.
Nice.
Those were popular for about 3 minutes.
At least.
But you guys,
maybe 5.
Why can't you call a flash drive a USB?
Because a USB is the connection.
Yeah.
It's a kind of plug.
Yeah. I got that.
Well, do you refer to all kinds of soda?
USB drive or a flash drive, whatever it is.
It's a drive. It's not a USB. It's a drive that plugs into a USB connection.
All kinds of soda as Coke. That's what this is.
No, I do not do that. Did you not understand what I was talking about?
We did.
I understood that I'm talking to an old person, and I happen to have
holy
parents.
Shit. Oh my God.
What?
An old person.
Well, he is. Is he not?
God.
Jess, you are 3 months away from old, so be quiet.
I still know what a flash drive is called. So
hey, I'm a year and 3 months from old. I got you all fucking beat.
A little baby over here.
I know it. Hey, did you ask Chris about those pictures?
Yeah, he said he would be murdered if we shared them.
Yeah, I would be absolutely murdered. However, I do have some other ones here that might be better. I just don't want to have any that have got the old man in it.
Well, that was just the one. I can leave that one out. Can I share the other ones?
Let me go to the favorites real quick because I got better here.
Okay.
I got better pictures here. I just got to get you people out of my way and get into favorites.
Oh, wow. So while he's trying to do that, I had decided
there's a picture for you.
That I was going to get my groceries delivered today because I had so much shit that I wanted to get done around the house. And I thought that'll just make everything easy. And they were supposed to be delivered between 12 and 1. And at 1:30, I called them and I was like, hey, where's my stuff? And they said, oh, there's been a delay. And I was like, okay, but nobody let me know what's going on. So like, when are they going to get here? Well, maybe in 3 or 4 hours.
Oh, that's good.
And I said, okay, can you just narrow that down a little bit? Because I have a thing. Like there's going to be a specific window that I am not going to be available. And another person gets on the line and says, oh, we've canceled your order.
Oh, well.
Because they had to cancel all of the morning orders so that they can get the evening ones out on time.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Well, I just got a text message from Kroger because you can imagine I was composing a firmly worded email.
A very stern email.
Very stern. I just got a text saying they're giving me a $25 credit.
Oh, very good.
Well, that's good.
So
Take that.
I might be able to take a couple of words out of that email.
That'll
Good.
get you a couple loaves of bread.
Chris, that is not you.
Did you see the picture of my broken knee, Jess?
Yeah,
that's what I'm laughing about.
That's not you.
Huh?
That can't be you. You sent your inseam. That's not you.
That's correct. It's not. Is that not the best fucking thing? I was like showing that to people, going, "Did I ever show you when I broke my knee?" For the folks at home, it's got a couple of kneecaps with a large penis hanging between them.
Yeah,
I'm going to use that.
I wish you would.
I'm going to perpetuate the myth.
Well, but there you go.
I'm going to.
That isn't a myth. That's legend. Big difference.
Okay, here we go. There we go. All right. You guys have thoroughly embarrassed me. Now I will never say USB again. I'm not embarrassed at all. I don't give a shit.
I know you're not.
I could give a shit. You know what? It's funny that I'm so fucking idiotic.
I mean, it pretty much makes the show.
There you go. Here's the new picture for you.
I am kind of stupid.
Oh,
no,
wow.
I'm not stupid. What am I saying?
Is that the attic?
That's the second attic that my dad built when he found hollow space.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait. Okay. Where is it? Oh my Lord.
Mm-hmm.
What is that? The Jamaican bobsled team suitcase?
It could be.
The official suitcase of the Jamaican.
That's very 1987. I had a coat that looked exactly like that.
Look at this. What's that? Brainstorm? Is that a game?
Let me look at it real quick. Hold on one second.
I gotta make.
Okay. The suitcase. God, that does look like the Jamaican bobsled team,
doesn't it?
But you notice the deluxe Wheel of Fortune right there, and the Masters of the Universe.
Yeah, I see that.
Box of Pampers.
Right yeah, and then
yarn.
Yeah, there's a bunch of. You can't see it all the way in the back, but there's a bunch of beer signs and all the Christmas stuff.
Maybe that's a Perry Ellis.
It could be. It could be. There's that one nice bag there, and they still take those bags on vacation.
But how many fucking suitcases do they have?
Well, how many do you need, Wally?
God damn. Well, I got I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I see 4 different brands of suitcases. But
Wally, think about that's a pretty big family, and they haven't thrown anything out since 1968.
And look at all the way in the back to the other end. There's another suitcase up top, and it looks like it still has a flight.
It does. On it. That bag has not moved since we came back from Los Angeles in 1982.
God damn it.
Yeah.
But you know what's the sweetest part of this whole thing is the green carpet down the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you had to lay something on top of the plywood.
You got the green carpet down the middle, so it's easy on the knees when crawling through the.
And it still hurts like hell trying to crawl through there. So I stand up and hit my head on those fucking beams all the time.
I look at my you can't see this. My cousin sent me a picture of grits with shrimp. It looks so fucking good. Wow. I like grits. I enjoy grits, you guys.
Hey, did you guys see the fans that were trying to start a class action lawsuit against Madonna for starting her concert 2 hours late?
Yeah, I saw that.
I saw somebody who did a TikTok that works in venues and was like, I hope the fans win, because that fucks up everybody involved when the artist doesn't bother to get out on stage on time. And especially in a city where you take public transportation that isn't running all night.
Oh, for
and
sure.
Especially in a city where the parking garages will close their gates right at midnight and don't care if you're inside.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I did see some other pictures of Madonna. And it just the pictures of her singing, and it showed her close-ups of her hands and her arms. Man, you can facelift your face all you want. You cannot hide your age on your hands.
Obviously she's not concerned about it. You age. That's what happens.
That's what happens.
Have you seen her?
You can't even
you look at her face. You couldn't even tell it's Madonna. You look at it and say, holy fuck, who is that broad? She don't have a wrinkle in her face. You get down below her chin and it's nothing but wrinkle.
Well, you age. That's what happens. How old is she now?
Madonna's got to be at least me.
She must be. She's older than us, I would think.
I would think so. I mean,
Madonna is 65.
That's what I was going to say.
I was just going to say 64, 65. But she's looking like a rough 64, 65 outside of her face. Because I saw some pictures of her online of her little musical thing.
Remember when she did her Playboy spread?
Well, I remember when she did that book.
Oh yeah, that one too. Yeah.
That big. We had 2 copies of those at Yes FM that I gave.
I bet you did. I know what one was used for.
No,
Neither could I. That's a fucking full bush. Nobody needs to talk about that.
But I so wish now that I go back.
Remember what a scandal that book was?
Oh, it was a huge scandal. But I've never been one to save any of that shit, right? I always gave it away or gave it to somebody. Or man, I now look back and say, God damn, I could have a couple $100,000 worth of bullshit laying around my house.
Yeah,
between the books and I think one of the
now you're talking me into keeping this shit.
I had when the Beastie Boys, I don't know, it was a Beastie Boys 20th anniversary something box set thing that came signed. Man, I gave it away and I should have kept it now because I think there's stuff that's worth money. That book, I should have just left it wrapped and not done anything with it. It'd be all this shit would be worth money now. And
yeah.
I think of it and say, but that goes to show how I didn't give a shit. And I think most people working it don't give a shit.
I save a few things. For a long time, I saved all of it. But the last couple of moves, especially this last move, I went through it and I was like, I don't even know who this person is who sent out this seatbelt as a promo item. She obviously didn't become a big star.
Seatbelt.
Well, she probably had a song about just drive or driving in my Chevy or Chevy truck or whatever. And so she sent out a seatbelt as a promo item and I kept it. I do have somewhere a can of chili that has Chris Young's picture on it from when he was on Nashville Star. Which,
what do I have?
Did you guys hear about that whole scandal with Chris Young?
No, but you had said something. Thank God he's okay or something.
So last week or Monday, I guess, he was at this bar in Midtown Nashville and some Tennessee ABC agents came in, but he wasn't positive apparently that that's who they were. They weren't wearing any logos. They didn't show him any ID, but they demanded to see his ID. And so apparently first he was being a smartass and held his ID over his head, but then he started recording them on his phone and he was following them around and he's trying to ask them questions. And then they go to another bar. He goes to the other bar. He ends up getting arrested. The first thing we hear is that Chris Young has been arrested for assaulting an officer. What's it called when you cause a scene in public?
Disorderly
conduct and resisting arrest.
Resisting disorderly. I'm reading it right now. And assault on an officer.
Now, anybody who's ever met Chris Young is kind of like, that doesn't make any sense. What? So then the Tennessee ABC agent says that Chris reached out to stop him from leaving and hit him in the shoulder. And that's when all the things went down, right? So then the security video from the bar gets released. And you see the ABC agents trying to leave and Chris reaches out kind of like, hey, I'm trying to get your attention. He might have touched the guy's shoulder, but he definitely was not being aggressive or violent in any way. Kind of like, hey. And the agent turns around, shoves him backwards so hard that Chris stumbles back, falls over a table, and then jumps back up with his hands up and is backing up and just being very calm and just standing there with his hands up like this as other people are getting in between them. So his lawyer is demanding that the charges be dropped, that the ABC apologize. The charges did just get dropped. That's what my post was about, good news for Chris Young.
Yeah, it's fucking great. I'm reading the story right now, Jess, and it says the agent who said he was pushed to the ground actually tripped on a bar stool.
The agent did?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that.
It says the agent tripped on a bar stool. Chris Brown, he didn't fall because he got touched by Chris Young.
No, and once the video came out, everybody was like, what the fuck is this guy even talking about? Chris didn't do anything to him.
Well, That is so. I don't want to dog on law enforcement at all.
But the guy also claimed to not know who Chris was.
Yeah, he's working in Nashville and he doesn't know who he is.
Yeah, he's working in a bar that Chris frequents, by the way. I used to go to that bar all the time. I used to see Chris there every time I was there. I think he lives across the street.
So the police or law enforcement of whatever sort they are, they have the vernacular to make it sound like he reached out to stop my
me from leaving
forward motion and knocked me to the ground. And listen, you got to be a fucking pretty fucking frail motherfucker that somebody put out their arm and you fell to the ground.
Yeah.
It's like, who are you, LeBron James?
Yeah.
You fucking touch LeBron James, he goes to the ground. All of a sudden, he's a professional soccer player. You touch him, he's going down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I guess there was video that shows the guy tripped on a fucking bar.
But he didn't trip before. He didn't trip. If he tripped, it wasn't around the time Chris reached his arm out to touch him. It maybe was going after Chris he tripped. But when he shoved him, he kept moving forward as Chris was stumbling backwards and fell over the table. So maybe he tripped then, but Chris had no way of. And the agent also said that Chris was screaming at him and refusing to comply. And then you see this video, Chris Young standing there with his hands up very calmly, asking questions.
Yeah, that's what this stuff says too. They don't show any of this argument that these guys talked about.
No,
of course not.
Mm-mm.
Fucking such lie. Don't they know? Listen, you can't
Everything is on camera these days.
In this country, in anywhere in the world, you cannot get away with shit. You can wear a fucking hoodie in the dark of night and break into a place and they're gonna find you. Mm-hmm. And they do all the fucking time.
Yep.
Because either your hoodie's not going to be so fucking good that it's not, your face isn't going to pick up, or one of your motherfucking buddies is going to say, "Oh yeah, that's Bob." They're going to call, "Yep, that's Bob. I know who it is. It's Bob. He was fucking around with my sister and I can't stand that fucker. It's Bob."
Yep.
Someone's going to rat you the fuck out.
Mm-hmm.
It's just going to happen. I don't know why people think the police or law enforcement or crooks or anybody think they can get away with anything.
And the police especially, that agent especially. Come on, dude. You know there's security cameras probably catching what you're doing from every single angle in that bar.
Oh, yeah. But listen, so when you go to do a delivery, look at Jess's house. Jess, you think she's fucking... She's fucking like protecting the World Bank in her house. You walk up her steps, it's going to get a whole picture of you. You're going to know if someone's there, right? I'm not
protecting the World Bank. I am protecting all of this precious cargo.
Wow, she just pointed to it, didn't she?
What was that slinky little fucking
this precious cargo that is me?
Yeah, what is that shoulder roll you did?
It's my precious cargo shoulder roll.
Wow.
Yeah, there she is, Sophia Loren Wright.
Oh, wait. And you see what else? She also did the bottom lip bite when she did that. Right, there you go. The bottom lip. Wow, Jess. You've got all the moves.
I do. That's why I need all the cameras to protect me.
Those are, but when I'm delivering, there are fucking cameras everywhere.
Not to mention, as soon as something happens, as soon as that agent shoves Chris, how many people grabbed their phones and immediately started recording?
Oh, fuck yeah. And this is something I don't understand. If you are drowning, the chances of you drowning are very high. The chances of the 35 people on the shore watching you drown, having video of it from every angle possible, including from a boat, are very high.
Yep.
You're not. So look at, she couldn't swim. Look at
all the ways that Ruff
cameras
died.
of this. Just couldn't swim.
We could have saved him here, but no. We could have said maybe no. I don't fucking I just don't get it. Everybody thinks they're I guess eyewitness news or something, or they're trying to sell their video. By the way, when you take videos, folks, landscape.
Well, now it depends, because if you want to use it on TikTok, You need it to be portrait.
Oh, okay, portrait. Well, if you want to sell it to ABC News, landscapes.
These days they'll use anything.
Now, landscape. Are we talking? Are you using like paper terms, Wally? Like landscape or portrait?
Lay the phone out the long way.
So horizontal.
Yeah, horizontal, but it's called landscape. That I know.
It's called landscape on a phone? I had no idea.
Yes.
It is.
Jess?
It is.
I thought we got rid of that with an HP 4050 printer, but okay.
No, okay, old man.
Mm-hmm.
Get hip like me, friend.
I'm just looking at my phone right here. It says portrait. And then if I hit it, it says auto rotate.
Right.
How about that?
Now it's not going to do it.
So the other day I was used my phone to take a picture, and I had to take a selfie picture.
Yeah.
And then I couldn't figure out how to fucking get it off the selfie mode. So I wanted to take.
Did you try your USB?
Jess Gale.
Okay, Jess. All right. It's gonna, at some point.
I'm going to send Wally the instructions in 14.
It's going to hurt me. It's going to hurt me, Jess, and I'm going to have to take a medication.
It's not going to hurt you.
The USB will not hurt you.
Gail will never hurt you.
I am okay with my old guy vernacular, because you guys know what I'm talking about. Thank goodness. My kids have no idea, or my grandkids.
Well, no, because they were born into all of this technology existing, and we all grew up with it.
Yeah, but that being said, we're still pretty much as versatile as they are with it.
Yeah, because we grew up with it.
Right.
It evolved as we were growing up. So yeah.
It evolved for us. I don't know about the Christians. It might not have evolved. It might have just fell into their laps. It just happened. Hey, someone's got to take a pot shot at somebody today. Let it be me.
Well, Wally, we've been taking pot shots at you all day, but you just haven't noticed.
I know.
Apparently you forgot already, Chris.
57 minutes into this
you guys
fucking
have a pre-show meeting.
Show prep.
Hey, it's pre-podcast meeting. Jess, contact me about 20 minutes before showtime, and let's go over what we're going to attack Wally with.
Hey, Jess, how come we make Wally feel like shit today? How can we do this? Is there a possibility?
I don't know. Maybe he'll comment on a 9-year-old post.
Did it ever occur to you maybe I did it on purpose?
No.
It shouldn't.
No, it did not.
It shouldn't have. But I spoke to you about that. So I even spoke to you about that. But I still had to comment on it.
Wait, what did you call me about the other day? And then we were like, we can't talk about this right now.
Yeah, that post.
Was it about that?
Yeah, it was about that post. Well, It was about that post, but it was also about adding people to the show, maybe.
Oh, right. Okay.
Getting rid of Chris and getting rid of me, and you just doing the show with somebody else who was better. No, it was about the trying to maybe be embrace our common knowledge. And embrace our write about what you know about.
Yeah.
You don't like it?
What?
Wally called me and suggested that rather than trying to talk about radio less, we talk about radio more and get more of our radio friends to join us as guests on the show to tell their radio stories.
Yeah, why not?
Right.
I was thinking that it might be a way to incorporate news story. There's got to be, everybody I know who's ever worked in radio has a horror story or a funny story or I worked for, you think you worked for a dickhead. Mm-hmm. I worked for this. Mm-hmm. People have those stories, and I would fucking love to hear them, because whenever I see anybody, even if it's a 9-year-old post, people are passionate about that shit. And they're passionate about it. When I look at the Small Market Radio webpage and some other Facebook pages, people are fucking passionate about it. And they don't necessarily, I don't care if they agree with my perspective. I just want to hear what it is they're talking about, what they have to say. There's lots of times it's very sort of cryptic, or they write stuff. You're like, oh man, I'd love to hear more about that.
Well, that's because anybody who's still currently working in radio has to be super careful what they say online, because there are actually clauses in contracts that you have to represent yourself publicly as a member of that company, that you are representing that company. So I could not be on this podcast if I were still working for what was Clear Channel back then.
You know what's funny though is Chris has probably had one. He's probably had the same kind of. I had a morals clause in my contract, two different contracts. I'm sure Jess did. I'm sure Chris. It's so funny because the people who give you the morals clauses
have no morals.
Design this, have no morals whatsoever.
Yeah,
they're fucks.
But those contracts basically say we own every creative thing about you, including your name.
Right. Until you start using your own name, and then they can't fucking have that, motherfuckers.
Right.
That's what. Yeah. Unless you're smart like Howard Stern.
Did he trademark his name?
Who fucking figured out early. He owns all his own shit. He'll play shit from when he was on whoever he worked for, Entercom, whoever he worked for way back in the day.
Oh yeah, he's got old shit from
NBC days, NBC, New York,
NBC,
WNBC.
So he has that shit from way back then. So he must have at that point knew or said, "Fuck you, you ain't owning my shit. This is my shit." Because he'll play, shit from ancient shows before he was on, while he was still on terrestrial.
Yeah.
The block parties and shit.
But probably anybody that he worked for back then doesn't represent that company anymore and wouldn't have any ground to stand on in terms of ownership either. And most of those companies are gone.
Yeah. You would think they are, yes. But I would love to hear people, especially people I don't know. I want to hear those stories. I want to hear some of those fucking successes and horror shows and failures and what I did, and maybe it'd be good for young people, young up and comers to hear, hey, this is what we used to do. This is how we used to get around this shit.
I mentioned this to Wally, Chris. I might reach out to that shitty radio jock on Instagram and see and see if they'll join us. They may not want to because maybe their voice is recognizable.
I can guarantee you it is.
Yeah. So if they have a way of disguising their voice, maybe they will. Maybe they would. Maybe they listen to our show and go, I'm not doing that shit. Right.
I'd like to hear. I told Jess I would like to hear that girl who quit. What was her name?
Oh, Annetta
the Mood Setter.
Yeah, I'd love to hear her story. I'd like to hear the story. What got her to that point to go off like that? I mean, it's funny the way she does it. And the way she quits her gig is fucking memorable. But what got her to that point? I'd love to know what got her to that point and what happened to her after that.
Well, she's on Instagram.
Yeah, I would love to hear that.
Let me just see.
Is she still working in the radio? No, she's at the DMV.
I actually, wait a minute. Yeah, it looks like maybe she is. Let's get this party started. I don't know what this is, though, that she's on.
Maybe she's on her own thing. Maybe she's doing her own little thing.
Inspire You on Air, the new.
Hey, Chris, did you change your picture?
Beat of the Bay.
Beat of the Bay.
The new Beat of the Bay.
Is that a station?
I guess.
Maybe.
Inspire You on Air. Inspire, the letter U, on air.
Oh, I said, Chris, is that a new picture of you and the wife?
Not that I'm aware. That's been up for.
Is that the same one you've always used? All
yeah,
right. Yeah. Okay, I guess so. Because I didn't remember there being. It looked like snow in the background. I didn't remember there being snow.
No, I should be sand.
Is it? Oh, is that what it is? Sand?
Yeah, I think I was taken at the beach.
Well, I don't know.
Pretty sure that was taken at the beach.
Both wearing sweatshirts. Must be a cold.
It was probably like October at the beach. Yeah.
All right. Just asking. So we sort of think maybe that's something we could look at.
Yeah, we could try.
Yeah, I would. Maybe we get some people say, "Yeah, fuck yeah, I'd love to talk about old time radio or new time radio." I mean, I would like to just hear what the fuck's happening and what did happen. Because there's so many fucking people out there that must have. Because just the three of us, we've got some wackadoodle stories. There's got to be. I know there's people who worked for much weirder situations than we've ever worked with. There's, I mean, there just has to be.
For sure.
You can ask people to get on and rate them on the Norma scale as to how bad their bosses were.
I don't know. I would say Satan in Texas was worse for me than Norma.
The man in Tyler. Yes.
Yep.
That's funny. I got a friend that's buying some Tyler stations. I wonder if your old one's one of them.
KKUS.
Is that what it is now?
Building? Was that a big building, Jess?
That's no. We just had the one station, but then it got bought, and so they have several other stations, I think. But it was KKUS back then. I believe it still is, but we were called Kickin', and then they changed their name to US 104, and they were like a classic country station.
Let me see if I can find the text from this guy and say.
Yeah, I'd be interested. I'd be interested in hearing and not just, on air people.
The Ranch they were called. Yeah, 104.1 The Ranch, KKUS.
Man, that sounds like a station whose name is better than what they put on the air.
It's an alpha media station.
Yeah. You know that the second so when I was putting together KISS, the second name, the name it was going to be for the longest time was The Planet.
Oh, really?
Instead of KISS. Yeah, it was going to be called The Planet. I had already designed a logo for The Planet, and at the last minute changed the name to KISS.
Why?
I don't know. Huh. It just felt like it felt like because there was no other top 40 station in the market, KISS was the most easily explainable.
I worked for a top 40 station in Wichita that was called Mix 92.3. And then they decided to change it from Mix, and they did all of this research, and we had all of these meetings, and we had all of these, brainstorming sessions, and we tested all of these station names. And what they ended up changing it to was the new 92.3.
The new
92.3. Yeah. In fact, I don't have it in here. Somewhere I have a mug that says it has the logo on it. The new 92.3.
Thousands of dollars goes into that shit.
Yeah.
Thousands and thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars goes into coming up with this shit. And I'm going to tell you, when I did KISS, we did that at my kitchen table with a pen and paper and crayons.
Yeah.
And design the logo. And
didn't you get that logo from KISS in Boston?
It's somewhat stolen from them.
Yeah.
But not completely. We didn't take the big lips. We didn't take the same kind of lips they had. We used different colors. Mm-hmm. But yes, sort of, kind of. It was in their vein. It was like it was probably 4 generations back on a logo that they had used.
Yeah.
But it was in the same. It was certainly in the same vein.
Mm-hmm.
But the KISS was just a popular, and you knew that if a station was called KISS, it was a top 40 station.
Right.
Like Mix is usually an AC station.
Yeah.
Right. It's going to be
now.
Now.
I mean, when the Mix that I worked for in Wichita, this would have been 2001. There was a CHR.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I get. You know what? The Mix I worked for here, when I went to work for the Mix here, when I took the job here, it was a top 40 station.
See, my Mix here was, you'd have a top 40 song next to, Tommy Two-Tone.
Now that's a mix.
Yeah.
That is.
Hey, and it supposedly it was Washington's best mix. So.
Well, you can't say it if it's not true.
We had 3 stop sets, 10, 30, and 50. And we're sold out. So we're playing 12 minutes of spots every hour.
Okay.
And as we're going into the 12 minutes of spots, More than 50 minutes of music an hour coming up next on Mix 107.3. And I asked the PD about that. I said, it's kind of stupid that way. He says, what the fuck do you think's behind the commercials? Okay, take care.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That I am so anti music behind other than commercials, but I am so anti music. Remember that whole move, the music behind the voice, behind your breaks.
Listen, our hip hop guy does that now at my company, and I believe the person who does pop now, but the one who did it before her also used music beds when she talked. I never have.
No,
I probably got that philosophy from Wally.
Yeah, when I worked at Froggy, I had to use them. So you're playing, Kathy Mateo records, and you got to come out and let the bed establish itself. Let it do its dun 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 dun. Froggy 100.7.
I think I remember my exact way to describe why we weren't doing it. I said, and I said, we don't walk around with a Walkman with a cassette of music and turn it on before we start talking to our friends.
The only exception that I make for that, and Wally, you probably heard some of this in that demo that I did for the award submission, is during my countdown, there are 3 features that we do that are not they're not part of the top 40 songs that we count down. Those 3 features have music beds under them.
Yeah, but I think those are different because they're feature identifiers.
Right, exactly. That's the only exception I make.
Because if you weren't there, they would still have the feature identifier, and it's nice to be able to pad.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a key, right? You hear the beginning of that, and you're like, oh, it's time for blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is. So when do you? Oh, I read this. Speaking about the ACMs, I read that Garth Brooks was kicked off the AC, or is not going to be the host of the ACMs.
Garth Brooks was never going to be the host of the ACMs.
Was it the ACMs or is it the CMAs or something?
Wally's reading a post from 9 years ago.
No. Are you reading the thing that the governor of Texas responded
I didn't read
to?
anything. It said something about Garth Brooks not being popular.
That's that bullshit that the governor of Texas responded to with Go Woke, Go Broke that we talked about months ago. That was from a satire website.
Oh, is that what it is? I just saw it. I didn't really read it. I just saw it going passing by.
Wally, you're part of the problem now. You and Greg Abbott.
I'm
you and Greg Abbott. You're spreading the fake news.
I'm mentioning it to you guys because you're pals and buddies. I'm not spreading it around. I'm asking you, and you're letting me know. Isn't this a show where just friends are chatting about shit they've seen?
Yes.
You said, oh, Wally,
I'm letting you know to check your sources.
Yeah. Well, I told you what my source was. I said, did you see this? I read this online, and you said, oh, it's fake. Now I would never say it to anybody else.
It's fake and months old.
Is it really a months old?
Let's see.
It was just in the top of my head because when I was thinking about you, Jess, I said like, oh, and you came to mind, and then that's why it was fresh for me.
When did Greg Abbott post about Garth Brooks? June 2023.
Oh, so it wasn't all that long.
Months.
And who did they say was going to do it?
Do what? They were saying that Garth was going to be. They were going to take away his Lifetime Achievement Award.
Oh no, that's not what I read. I read about a different host for the show, and somebody else was going to be the host instead of Garth because he wasn't popular enough anymore.
Nobody would say the ACMs would never be like, you know what?
I know the ACMs wouldn't. Someone's probably saying it. All right. Oh, now I got to look. Garth not hosting ACM.
Garth and Dolly did host the ACM last year.
Right. Says, why was Garth removed from the CMAs? I guess this was October 26th.
I can't imagine why we don't have more listeners.
Right?
Yeah, it says something about false claim. Jason okay. False claim, Jason Aldean replacing Garth Brooks at CMAs. This was from, I don't know, this was from last year. Okay.
That's some clickbait bullshit.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it was just something that popped up on my thing.
And second of all, at that point in time, the last person they're going to get to replace
Jason
anybody
Aldean.
at the CMAs is Jason Aldean. He was in the middle of a scandal himself.
Right. So that's probably why it was posted.
Yeah.
I think it was July of last year. So, so whenever, because I looked up something, then I start getting all this other shit. And I was looking up some sort of, I don't know, I might have been looking up something about Garth Brooks on Facebook. And then I start getting deluged with all kinds of other shit. I don't even like looking for stuff anymore. Because then I get deluged with all this other shit and I got to sort out what's fake and what's not. Can't you just write Onion News on everything that's fake and I'll know it's
I
fake?
would think so. There's enough people that believe. There are several satire websites, and there's enough people that believe everything those websites post that they probably should have to like put something on the headline that says this is satire, you fucking idiots.
Yeah, I was listening to
you fucking fuck.
You fucking fuck.
There is a Christian satire website. Are you familiar with that one?
No.
Yeah, I believe it's called the Good News Bible, but go ahead.
Is that what it's called?
No.
I heard I don't know what it's called, but I heard an interview with that guy, him trying to explain Christian satire, and I couldn't understand what the fuck he was talking about because it sounded like all he was really doing was just fucking poking fun at everybody except Christianity. I forget what it was fucking called. I'm gonna have to look it up again. It was a podcast I was listening to. Okay, never mind.
Okay.
Forget me.
Well, we gotta wrap this up because I have
you got a lot of editing to do.
I got a lot of editing to do, and I have I was trying when.
What are you insinuating, Chris?
I don't know, Gail.
when it became time to do this show, I was halfway through installing a new deadbolt on the front door, and
why?
So because I wanted one with a keypad. And so electronic one.
About that.
Yeah. So
how expensive are those, Jeff?
It got complicated. Well, I got mine for free, but they were, I think that one was $70 or something.
Yeah, I've been thinking I wanted to get one of those too because I forgot my keys and got locked out the other day.
See, that's kind of my concern, but also when I have the dog sitter come over, when I'm not home, like it just. I got the idea when my neighbor had me come over and check his house because he's got one with the keypad on the front door. And I was like, that's really smart. I need to get one. So it got a little complicated.
You give everybody their own little keypad?
Yeah, you can put like 50 different codes on it.
Yeah, so you know who's punching in.
Yeah.
For your gentlemen callers there, Jess?
Yeah, I want to be able to keep track of who's been here when. You know.
Gentlemen callers.
You know, there's so many.
Gentlemen callers. I don't like when people say that. Jody will say that often about people she's from work. I was talking to a gentleman today on the phone. These fucking people don't give them that credit, gentlemen or a lady. So this lady said, "Fuck you, you bitch." Well, that's not a lady.
That's not a lady.
That's not it.
Listen, I was having a bad day, Jody.
Wow. That's good, Jess.
Thank you.
All right, folks. Well, there you go.
All right. Now there's a little less editing for you.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
y'all have a good week. I already told my joke about Jess having gentlemen callers. So there's no need to have another joke, I guess.
No. I think that you're not listening to your dad enough these days.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen him in a week, so that will be something.
You haven't?
No.
Have you been away?
No, I've just had a lot to do up here with the snow last week. You know, it got impossible to get over there. So, yeah. Okay. But yeah, I'll see him. I'll see him tomorrow.
Oh, good. So we'll have a joke next week.
I don't mean to pry, Chris. When's the last time you saw your dad, Chris?
Yes. When's the last time? You know they're going to be dead one day, and you're going to be regretting.
I mean, are you sure they're not dead yet? You haven't seen them in a week.
Yeah, you know when you go get that fucking pod to load all that shit from the attic in, you're going to be wishing you had one over there one more time.
Okay, first of all, that's going to be multiple pods. Okay, and second of all, have you ever heard the term Jewish lightning?
Oh, I have heard the term Jewish.
Okay,
lightning.
I'm fully expecting to invoke the Jewish lightning clause in that house.
Yeah, I
Okay.
don't want to. Jess, it's a very racist thing.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
well,
it's
extremely
you
racist.
can tell me in a text.
Yes, it is absolutely. Basically, it's God,
It's
how can we say
landlord
it?
lightning.
Yeah.
Let's call it landlord lightning.
Yeah.
It's when you have a non-profitable building that suddenly gets struck by lightning and burns to the ground, and the insurance pays off.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So we'll call it landlord
That's
lightning.
probably
Landlord lightning.
that's better. Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to bring
what?
you. I want to bring you
That's-
into the 1990s, Chris.
And that's so
Landlord
funny because I didn't think a second thought about calling it Jewish lightning because we'd all just sit around and laugh about that down here. We had a commercial on WTOP a couple years ago, and I'm sitting. Yeah, really. And I'm sitting there listening to this commercial, and production director, my responsibility to get things on the air. Well, when an agency sends a spot, you just put it in the computer, you push the button, and assume it's been vetted by somebody, right? And I'm taking a shower, and I've got the station on, like a good production director would.
Right.
And I'm hearing, WTOP News Time, 7:09. We've got sports coming up in just a few minutes. Stay right here. And then they hit the commercial. There's a lot of folks that are getting home improvements done right now. Make sure you get at least 3 estimates because you don't want to get gypped. And I just looked over at the radio and I said, this is going to be a really bad fucking day for me.
Wow. Yeah. I would have just gone back to bed at that point.
Yeah. It'd be a real bad fucking day. My phone rang 40 seconds later.
Yeah.
Not good.
That was fun. Good. All right. Y'all enjoy your week. I'll talk to y'all later.
Bye, guys.
Good weekend.